Hello. So in the last video, I showed you my planning process. So I showed you the how I turn these little sheets of card into a structured plan like this. And what I've done is I've listed. So the first part of the plan is Rocky is a British girl in California missing home. I've got to say who Rocky is and why she's in LA and her dreams of playing football in the United States and for the Lionesses. So I'm kind of like building up an idea of her as a character, and that comes from the first sort of indicators that I've put on my plan here. So now what I do, I go from writing on bits of paper with my handwriting to typing stuff up, and it's here, I've typed it up, and what I'm going to do now is, I'm going to, as you can see, in fact I'll just put it on the screen now, you don't need to look at me, hopefully you can see this. So what I've done is, taking it from the plan that I did by hand, I've written down a plan on here, so that's chapter 1, that's chapter 2, and then chapter 3, 4, 5. They're the plans for those. And I'm using now this plan on chapter 1 to write my first bit. And what I'll do is I'll turn all the plan bits red, so I know they're plan bits, and then I'll go back into black to make sure that what I'm writing now is the actual proper text. So I've got to start a story. Rocky is a British girl. I'll make it bigger just in case you can't see it. Rocky is a British girl in California missing home. So who is Rocky and why is she in LA? So I could start with, so that's the first part of the plan for chapter 1, and I've got 3 bits for chapter 1. The whole chapter is going to be 600 words long, so I can do 200 words per bit. So the first bit of the first chapter, I can put something like, and like, bear in mind, the first draft is, for me, any first draft I do is awful. It's not very good, it's clumsy, it's full of mistakes, but I don't care because I just want to get it down, get what's in my head onto the paper, and I know I'm going to rewrite it several times, and we'll come to that later on. But I think it's really important to get stuff down, so I'm going to write stuff here, and it's going to be full of errors, and that's fine because I know that I'm going to come back to it. Anyway, that's how I work. Anyway, so Rocky ran out onto the pitch. I won't even bother redoing the spelling mistakes. She was here at last. See, I'm not very good at typing. She was here at last in LA. I've never typed on screen before, so sorry about this. Rocky ran out onto the pitch. I can always go back and just change that. She was here at last in LA, living her football dream. And then I could put something else in like, but in the back of her mind, she wished her mum was here too. No, Rocky said to herself. Oh my goodness, I can't type when people are watching me. Said to herself. Do not get homesick. Right. So that's what I've written. That's the beginning of the chapter. I'll bring it closer just in case you can't see it. So my plan is she's a British girl in California missing home. So I've tried to do it, not telling you that, but showing you that she's where she is and how she's feeling. Rocky ran out onto the pitch. She was here at last in LA, living her football dream. So it's all positive so far. But in the back of her mind, she wished her mum was here too. No, Rocky said to herself, do not get homesick. So can you see that is my first attempt, and whatever is in the book, if you're looking at the book now, you'll see it's really different because that's just the first draft getting it down. It's probably none of that will even make it to the cut, but I've got to write something down just to get it. And like, can you see I've started with she's happy, she's excited, she's living her dream, and then there's a bit of doubt as well. And that's what we're all like, isn't it? Like you do something new, you're excited, you're doing something new, but you have your fears and your doubts and that sort of thing. So that's me writing the first draft, and I'm going to do this for the whole novel, 10,000 words. And when I've done the 10,000 words, and I'll tinker along with it as I'm going. Like if you look at, I'll I'll sort of like, obviously there's a spelling mistake there. I put Anne instead of ran. And there's lots of other things. I'll just go through and I will tidy it up. But once I've written the whole thing, I'll print it out. And then when I've printed it out, I can read through it and look for the problems with it. And we'll come to that in the next video. Thank you for putting up with that. See you in a bit.